Welcome to the opening of a really, really exciting exhibition. It's one of the most exciting shows we've ever had here. This artist is totally unique, and the whole team, everybody involved in the gallery is thrilled to be standing here tonight. And I'd like to welcome him. This is Ruud here. Many will have spoken to him this evening. Hi, Ruud. Thank you for We'll start in front of this remarkable picture, which comes from the series Theatre, and we'll come on to that in a second. But Ruud, for those who don't already know, can you explain what we're looking at here? How this is created, what you do to create it, where the images come from?
Well, it's a montage. I call it a montage. It's not a collage. It comes from collage, which is with paper and glue and that sort of thing. I started out with those, but then the computer came. This is in the early 90s, and there I saw you could montage in Photoshop in a very perfect way. Mm-hmm. And then I started to do images that looked like photos, but are in fact totally constructed. And this work is, like all the trees have been photographed, of course, separately. All the leaves, actually everything you see is being photographed separately. I have a large database with leaves, with trees, with all kinds of plants and flowers and whatever. And I work from that. First I collect a lot of photos and then I start creating. Yeah, I just start with an empty canvas and then just putting all trees in and try to make a composition, which is a process that takes about a week to get the composition right, and then I start to finish the work.
So you will have spotted that one of the themes in a lot of these pictures is childhood. There are lots of pictures of children. Why and where does it come from and what does it mean?
Yeah, when I started with the theme of innocence, that was about 2005. So innocence was an important theme. I was working with beauty. That's just a choice that I made. And innocence is something that is actually quite beautiful, I think. And children, they don't have a personality so much, so they can be used as symbols. And I wanted to portray the symbol of innocence. I mean, in a visual work, I mean, if it's an adult, you will see immediately by his clothes what kind of person he is. Yeah. So I wanted to work with the innocence and with beauty, so I combined them with nature and like the dresses from my childhood. So I started the whole series with children. The first one was with a white dress. Girl with that's a symbol of innocence, of course. First I did a white girl, and then I got criticized that the girl looked too white. She could have been an Aryan. Somebody told me. That was a bit shocking for me to hear. And then I tried a black child, and that happened to be something quite new in art history, because black children are not being used as a symbol for innocence. And that started off the whole series called Worlds.
The references to your own childhood are very clear in the catalogue, and I hope you all grab a catalogue and look at the photographs that we've included in it that Ruud gave us, which show you as a little boy in similar clothes. I mean, very similar clothes. Exactly. What was it like? It sounds like a silly question, but was there a stereotypical childhood in the Netherlands? What was it like growing up in the 60s? And was it very formal in your family?
Yes, very formal, very simple. It was very. My childhood was like any other child in those days. Just very simple and sort of religious childhood. So you have all those moments you have to go to church and all kinds of ceremonies take place, and you're sort of, especially the girls are dressed in white, and they go to their communion in church, and they become children of God, all that sort of thing. That is in the Netherlands, for instance, totally gone now. It's a lost world completely. I didn't particularly like it, but it was quite special.
And you see here, I think, children in their Sunday best. This is what, as you were as a little boy.
I do like that feeling. I mean, the clothes were very uncomfortable, and you, on Sundays, the Sundays were extremely boring, and you had to go to grandmother and all that sort of thing. But the feeling of it is something that I try to portray in that kind of works, like the series that is titled Sunday.
One thing I wanted to ask you, right, that there is, throughout all the work here, a sort of attention. There's an element of, I want to use the word sinister, it's not quite the right word, but there's something that's unsettling about a lot of your work. And partly that's because it's not real, and you can sense that when you're looking at it, even if you don't quite know why, if you don't know the techniques. How do you feel about that? Is that sort of deliberate? Do you want people to sense that when they're looking at pictures, or is it a sort of byproduct?
It's taste, I think, for a large part. There's a tension in there that I like. Yes. And so that's just my taste. Some people completely don't like it, but it's also an effect when you when you disturb reality, I think. Yeah. And that's what I do, of course. I mean, I take it out of the reality, and still it looks photorealistic. And so you get this, that feeling, that's a strange feeling that something is wrong.
So much art, so much photography is so walk-buyable, and I think Ruud's work is unwalk-buyable. It is, you have to stop and look at it and wonder what's happening. And they drew people in, and I think that is true of all of these pictures. Ruud, thank you very much. That was really enlightening.